want to say this straight off the bat. I think some of you are generally on crack. Because, I actually wasn't going to watch this show. And I so happened to be off today. And I seen on my newsfeed they said that the Rock segment was good, but all the rest of the show was terrible. And all I gotta say is that I think, genuinely, some of you are on crack. I think some of you are so deluded by your own little teams. And I want to say this, AEW was actually a semi-decent show. I want to say that straight off the bat. I thought it was decent. It's not a SmackDown show. And I'm going to be talking about this in great detail because I have seen the highest level of bullshit on my newsfeed, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Some of you generally are so blinded by this fake war. Now, I want to say this, right? In saying that, is WWE and AEW in competition? Absolutely. Stevie Wonder can see that. The more you accept that, the better. But the fact that some people are getting so overly into this war, where they're so blinded by logic, it baffles me. This goes for the anti-smarks that were bashing AEW, and this goes for the smarks that were bashing, should I say, the anti-smarks that were bashing AEW, and the smarks that were bashing, fucking SmackDown this week. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. In fact, I would go so far to say, now, it wasn't perfect, no. There was some things where I was like, but I've seen some people legit give this a 0 out of 10. I've seen some people give this a 1 out of 10. Like, you guys are on crack cocaine. Like, you guys are out of your head if you think that this is a 1 show. If this is a 1 out of 10 show. If you honestly did give it that rating, you're so blinded by your own horse shit that you can't have a level-headed mind when it comes to professional wrestling. SmackDown, in my opinion, was an amazing show. Now, we're going to talk about the controversial thing with Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston. We'll get into that in a minute. I do have some grievances with it. Again, I'll say it's a perfect show, but I personally thought, in my perspective, it was an excellent show. Okay? But these people are so goddamn blinded. I've seen, like, some people, like, saying it was terrible. Like, these are the types of people why wrestling it was at the stages it was a few years ago. This show, in my humble opinion, is a step in the right direction, and I will hereby announce that we will be weekly reviewing exclusively SmackDown on this channel. We will only, I'll review Raw if I can and AEW, but exclusively I'll be reviewing SmackDown, because compared to most of the shows that I've seen this week, this was an amazing show. Now, I know I'm going to be accused of being a WWE fanboy, you're this and that. Again, I don't hate AEW, I thought it was a decent show, for the most part. But some of these people that are just so... like, yous are blinded. Like, yous are clearly blinded by your own hatred of WWE, where you can't even see where they're actually trying. That's the problem. When WWE actually, on the rare occasion, by the way, very fucking rare, where they actually try, you gotta give them some praise. They did a very good show. I thought it was excellent. And also, it's on Friday nights, which means I can see it live. I can actually watch it now. So if I'm off on the weekends or whatever, I can now watch SmackDown. WWE, believe it or not, took my criticism and actually did something about it. In fact, they made this show entertaining. This show was entertaining. If you generally don't think that this show was entertaining, I'm sorry, but you don't know, no, maybe that's going a bit too far, you don't know anything about professional wrestling. But this show was actually really good. Yes, this is going to be a positive review, ladies and gentlemen. Hell has frozen over. This was a good show. It was absolutely excellent. Unlike the other shows that we've seen in the past, and there is filler matches, but you can see that they're trying to fill in that filler. The Shane McMahon Kevin Owens match I thought was excellent. I generally am worried for the fan base of wrestling if you think that this is a 0 out of 10 show. If that is, and I will go so far to say this, if you give this a 0 out of 10, you generally do not know anything about professional wrestling. If you thought it was a below average, fine. That's your opinion, but I will say this, if you've given this a 0 and say the whole thing was terrible, you generally do not know anything about professional wrestling. This show made me become a wrestling fan again. This was the show. And whether you like to admit it or not, it's the truth. So, without further ado, my little monologue, I just have to get the... Please let the audio work, by the way, because I want, for my own soul, to say this. Some of you are generally on crack if you think that this is a bad show. I'm sorry, but you have no idea what you're doing with yourselves, genuinely. Straight off the bat, Vince McMahon comes down with Steph. By the way, Stephanie looks a bit weird. I'm just saying that. She looks a wee bit weird. I don't know. I can't put my mind on it. My mind's telling me no. She looks really weird. Like she's transforming a wee bit in a weird way. I don't know. Was it just me or not? But I don't know. But so they came in and said this is like SmackDown. We are now on Fox. Which, by the way, you can clearly tell Fox is giving them a lot more leniency than the fucking USA Network. Fuck the USA Network, by the way. I'm all in for Fox, boy. I'm all in for Fox. Because they Fox, with all intents and purposes, are giving WWE some leeway. They are actually providing them with some of the tools to actually better the show. And that's what I've said, that Raw on the USA Network doesn't work. Because USA Network, in reality, I mean, what's on that show? You know what I mean? Whatever. But Fox, I think, did an excellent job. The stage looks amazing. And stuff like that. So, Becky Lynch and The Rock with King Corbin. Excellent segment. It's The Rock. The Rock still has it. The Rock came down, cracked a few jokes. It was really funny. Becky didn't seem as cringy as what she did on Raw. I will admit that. There was a few kind of okay, love, we get it. You're a woman, okay, cool, right, we get it. But she wasn't as cringy as what she was on Raw. That's kind of Becky sort of done right. I thought she did an excellent job with The Rock. And The Rock obviously did an amazing job. Baron Corbin, I have to say, give him praise. Think he took it pretty well. Obviously, it's not easy, just everyone laughing at. Even if he's a heel, it's still fuck, I personally thought it was a great opening segment. I really hope we see another Rock run. Fuck it, I'll just say it. I want to see another Rock run. Fucking sue me. I like wrestling. Alright? I like it. I generally did like this show. Now, on the more disappointing things, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair versus Bayley, Sasha Banks. I mean, was it a semi-decent match? Yeah. Was it a bit boring? Yeah, because we've seen it before. This is a prime example of stuff, and I will get into details in regards to the whole WWE, after all the progression, still can get tag teams, right? I feel as if having these single competitors in tag matches only cheapens their brand. I think some of these girls should be purely in single matches. Maybe on the end have a tag match, but I think have some of these women in actual singles matches so we can actually see what they're like and put them over. These tag matches add up to nothing, to be honest. That's my criticism in regards to this match. Was it an alright tag match? It was okay, but it was a wee bit, it was just their greatest hits, if that makes sense. Seth Rollins in action. So Seth Rollins is coming down the ring, him and Nakamura, stuff like that. You also seen like the fucking funhouse thing, which I thought was funny, aka the rabbit is immortal. I'm just saying that. I think the rabbit is generally immortal. I think he's Captain Jack Harkness from Doctor Who. Google that if you don't know what I mean. Shout out to my Doctor Who fans. But anyway, I hope someone at least got that joke. But Seth Rollins, I felt, he's alright. You know, he was alright in this show. A lot better than on Raw. It was a wee bit cringy on Raw. Obviously Bray Wyatt did an excellent job, and the production team did an excellent job in regards to that segment where they're laughing at Seth Rollins and like, burn it down, man. Like, I thought that was actually hilarious. And I thought it was pretty decent, and I thought it was very, very good. So anyone that has said, quote unquote, the only good thing was The Rock, I'm sorry, but you're on crack cocaine. Just saying. Hashtag wrestling fans on cocaine. I'm sorry, but it was decent. Another great match, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Excellent match. Very, very good ladder match. Shane McMahon, obviously, doing the coast to coast. If you check me out in eFeds, I have my own move. It's called Across the Pond. Shout out to FBXW for that. I tell you what, Steve's been naming some of my... In case you don't know, I'm an FBXW. I'm also an NWS, but I'm an FBXW. And... like, some of the names Steve comes up with are fucking amazing. But anyway, Shane McMahon does a coast-to-coast, jumps off, on the announce table as well. Absolutely excellent match. Thought Kevin and Shane did an excellent match. Obviously, Kevin, Shane McMahon is no longer, apparently, with WWE. Some people are saying he's going to be taking a break. Might be for the best, because his run kind of just went like that. And then it went like that. And then it went like that. And then it went like that. So, yeah. 8-man tag match. Now, the 8-man tag match, I couldn't give a fiddler's fuck for. However, my boy Tyson Fury was here. Now, a lot of wrestling fans, I know Will will know who I'm talking about. Will knows who. Me and Will love Tyson Fury. Shout out to Will's World Entertainment, by the way. Me and Will fucking love Tyson Fury. Obviously, he is a fantastic... his last boxing match was... but Tyson Fury is excellent for the WWE. If you don't know who he is, and I'll explain very briefly, he is essentially if a WWE wrestler became a boxer. And actually, he cuts better promos than some of the wrestlers on the roster. Tyson Fury, in my opinion, should consider after he retires to join WWE full-time or join part-time. Tyson can clearly cut weight to do it. He can clearly get into shape. I think Tyson, I know you're not watching this because why would you? But I honestly do believe that this is a calling for Tyson Fury. I think just like Ronda Rousey, Tyson should get on this. Because we're seeing, and we'll get into the MMA stuff as well, what happened towards the end. But I love to see boxing get a bit of love, because I love boxing. As you know, I'm a massive boxing fan. But Tyson Fury on SmackDown, excellent. Tag match was a bit, Bleacher Report, for whatever reason, gave us a C. Let me read it. The only notable part of the entire deal was Strowman's interaction with Fury. Whether there was one planned, one-off match remains to be seen. But the commentation will be the least be good for mention on SportsCenter from the standpoint this was success. Otherwise, this was just an excuse to get these superstars in the broadcast. True. However, I would love to see Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman. It would be amazing. I know Fury would be amazing in the ring. He obviously is very, he obviously puts 100% in everything he does. Now, the only problem is that he likes to curse a lot. He's very similar to me where, we're European, we like to curse a lot. They're obviously going to have to rein that in because there was so many cuts. As you can hear Tyson Fury's like, you fucking bitch. You fucking... you can clearly hear him cursing. But I thought this was excellent. So, very, very good. Again, apparently to some people, they thought that the Rock segment was the only good thing. Like, you're all on crack, I'm sorry. Excellent show. Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. This was a bit, like, it was an actual decent Lumberjack match, to say the least. It was decent. Usually with Lumberjack matches, they're like, and I hate Lumberjack matches. They're just so boring. Like, I think at least have, like, I have an idea for a match to replace a Lumberjack match, but I won't reveal that, so, in case they steal my shit. But I actually have, an actual match type that's never been done before in my head. Who knows, maybe I'll say it later on, maybe, you know, when I become I don't know, anyway. But anyway, yeah, I do have a perfect idea to completely get rid of that Lumberjack thing. But for a Lumberjack, it was pretty decent. Daniel Bryan apparently is now a face now, by the sounds of it. It would make sense for Bryan to turn face and stuff like that, so yeah. Okay, WWE Championship match, Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar. Was it shocking? Yes. Was it out of the blue? Yes. Did it suck? Okay. I'm torn because obviously if Cain Velasquez didn't show up towards the end, this would have been terrible. Okay? If Brock came in, F.I. Kofi, won the match, and then the show's over, this would have destroyed the show. However, with Cain Velasquez, I can see why Kofi lost so fast. Kofi, with all due respect to him, was, like, I didn't watch his title run, okay? I seen maybe clippets. And, you know, it was great for Mania for him. You know, whenever I heard that he won and stuff like that, thought good for Kofi Kingston, pretty good for him. But, you know, some people are like, they screwed Kofi. The fact that Kofi had the belt for 6 months just shows you how, like, you know, they didn't screw Kofi Kingston, really, to be honest. Like, I will admit the ending was a bit, like, they could have done it a wee bit longer. Like, maybe just to show, okay, like, you know, like, maybe have Kofi do a wee cheat thing, and then Brock stunned a little bit. But, for the most part, I thought, if it wasn't for Cain Velasquez and Rey Mysterio showing up, this would have been a terrible show. And Cain Velasquez is now going to be facing Brock Lesnar. I thought absolutely amazing. And I thought it was a decent ending. Again, I understand some people might be pissed off, but again, I think with Cain Velasquez showing up, I thought it was pretty decent. All in all, fucking hell, this is we're now entering above. We're talking about ratings. Because, on average, the General Gerry channel usually gives shows a 4, or a 5, or a 6 maximum. Maybe a 7. Fuck it. I don't care if I get a hit. It's getting a 9 out of 10. I'm sorry. I thought it was a decent show. I thought that this is tailored for me. Because it's entertaining with wrestling. If you want to watch just pure wrestling, then watch NXT and watch AEW. That is a tailored product for people like yourself. If you're these types of people that are these wrestling purists that get angry because there's, like, you know, this was entertaining. It was wrestling at its best. I personally felt this could have got a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for the pointless tag matches. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. People are going to think I'm mental. I know some people. Please, for the love of God, right? If you've given this a low rating, just rewatch it again, recorded. And you will appreciate the actual show. Please rewatch it. Just saying. Honestly, SmackDown, excellent. Will they follow up the next week? Probably not. However, I thought for a great opener, I thought of all the openers this week, this was actually amazing, and I personally thoroughly enjoyed the show. And it's made me a wrestling fan again. So, anyhow. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This is General Gerry on the General Gerry channel. Signing out.